Mitrulara Bandhulara, welcome to South Asia Maps, your education channel. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy. At South Asia Maps, I will bring varied, diverse fields of knowledge of abstract ideas into iconographic form, essentially an education channel where I would like to share my passion and interest of the last 4.5 decades from my standard works in molecular biology, ecology, and bioinformatics agriculture. And we are continuing our human ecology series. Human ecology is humans on the planet Earth, how they interact with the biotic things, abiotic things. Human ecology, military industrial complex society. We are in part 133. And I have discerned certain common laws or sayings or findings and discoveries. All of them may not uniquely fit into laws, but these are the major sayings of certain personalities that will have a wider impact on the society and human ecology. In this, I am covering part 133 of the law are the work of Dr. Joseph Tainter, that is the complexity law. All the complex systems eventually simplified. Complex systems simplification law, you can say it more or less. After this presentation, you will get a great clarity on that. Mitrona, this is our human ecology series. We are in part 133, that is laws. Previously, we have covered Garrett Hardin's law of tragedy of commons. Commons is essentially grazing ground. If you put too many excess cows out, then it will give the diminishing returns like that. Bartlett law, the food and oil law. Human food is made with oil now. That means human bodies are essentially oil. Then again, Dr. Catton's law, there are too many people, too many aspirations, too much myopia. And we are in part 133. And previous presentations, you can look at these are the human ecology presentations and so on. All these presentations, Mitronam, you can find at South Asia Maps JRD. There are more than 600 presentations as of 2024, and I organized them into round about 70 or so playlists. You can go and look at them. South Asia Maps JRD. And most of the basic understanding comes from Dr. Catton's Overshoot and BottleNeck book, and I add my own understanding of the global system. Dr. Joseph Tainter was best known for this book, 1988, The Collapse of Complex Societies and Systems. He examines the Mayan civilization and Chokawan civilization and Western Roman Empire. He looked all these things in terms of the network theory, the energy of the contemporary system, the agriculture, their economics, their social lives, their complex tools and implements, their governance, the bureaucracy, the roads, infrastructure they had at that time. That means his final conclusion of this is collapse, the complexity cannot be maintained after certain time because it gives the diminishing return. The collapse of complex systems is a simplification. Systems fall down to very simple systems. That is the basic law he has. Here I have added couple of things which tells how complex systems we are in now. Take for example the complex highway system here. Now we are shopping in air conditioned shopping malls and 1 square kilometer or so, and all the goods and products and services are brought in here. Everything is air conditioned, And we are previously drilling for oil, just poking a hole on the ground. Now we are going into the darker areas, deep sea drilling, 3, 4, 5 kilometers down the sea. We are drilling for oil. Even we have a complex fracking system where the pipes are put in and the rocks inside the soil are broken, let's say in Dakota areas, and all the oil is extracted. Of course, we have, you see, the combiners, harvesters of complex food production systems we have compared to 300 years back, simple oxen drawn or horse drawn plowing systems. He was the professor of anthropology at Utah State University, Logan, in the basin area of western United States, west of Rocky Mountains, born in 1949. So it is the same thing. I have added a little more information here. Complex systems eventual simplification law. Diminishing returns. This called EROE or sometimes abbreviated ERI, energy returned on energy investment or energy return on energy. Take for example, when the oil first time got drilled, and if you put 1 unit of energy to drill it, you used to get 100 units of energy. Just you poke 100 meters or so feet a well that used to gust the tons of oil. Now, round about 2000 or so, our returns for 1 unit of energy you put in is round about 30 or so. Anything below 10 will not be industrial society, even though if the oil is present after 2, 3 decades, but energy return on energy investment is very, very low. It's same as suppose you are a well for taking the water, and in certain areas of India, even within 2, 3 meters in the monsoon time, you can just put your pot and get the water. Imagine you go to third desert and this, you have to like pull the water from it 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters. You are giving lot of energy. That means diminishing return. That's why the deep sea oil that we have seen before, tar sand is essentially a type of mushy sand that has oil in it, tar, and it is boiled and what oil is extracted. That is the diminishing returns. You don't get 100 units per 1 unit invest. You may get around about 10 or so. Fracking, we have seen the picture there. So all these complex systems, the complexity is slowly going down. Of course, software industry, you see. And before 1970, 80, whatever industrial systems were there, essentially we have the same thing, but they have added software, IT industry, complexified the system. Even within the system, around about 1990s, there used to be simple like Visual Basic Program. When HTML was developed, it was a great invention. You can see the documents and share it. Later, when they added like Visual Basic, some database, you can dynamically get them, the dynamic interfaces. Later, Java was added, then servlets and JSPs. You may not be aware of this, does not matter. I am telling now web services, cloud DevOps. That means even maintaining that simple application that returns more or less the same value, maybe little fast, and things like that. We have spent a lot of energy to maintain it. That means essentially in modern times, humans navigated their simple systems into complex software industry backing systems that will have a diminishing returns in the future. Then the industrial food chain. Previously, farming was simple and we used to have the plow and oxen and horses produce. Now, in the modern industrial farming, we are putting 15 calories to get the 1 calorie out of that. This is a very complex industrial agriculture. It is not renewable, so it has to simplify eventually. Modern infrastructures, the transportation, see how complex it is to navigate here, to build them, to maintain them, to tar them. This takes a lot of resources that we are depleting very fast. Our governments have become deep bureaucracy. In certain countries, half of your salaries goes to the government. That means essentially they are maintaining a very big bureaucracy to control the transactions or interactions between the human. Modern banking, digital banking, fiat currencies, printing the money out of thin air in days. This is a complex system. And fractional reserve banking, if you deposit 1 million, you can give loans for 10 million, even some places, some banks 100 million, some are even unlimited. That means you just bring the currency into existence out of nothing. That is a complex system. So I have just covered certain of these aspects before, and just you can look in the appropriate playlist. You see, the post territorial expansion 1850, US has completely taken over the land. Now it has depleted the resources, drawdown. Now there is a carrying capacity deficit. That complex system and the population of around 330 million cannot be supportable in the modern time. Essentially, our life on the planet Earth is running on a fleet of super oil tankers. Even any choke point is, you see, the choke point is blocked, then there is a chance for the collapse of the banking, the economic recessions, and all those things. Human life on the fleet of oil tankers. So we have converted agriculture is taking over the land from the nature, from the flora and fauna. Simple. Now the takeover has been turned into drawdown, drawing down for the minerals, metals, mostly fossil fuels, developing the industrial agriculture. That is one of the mistake we made. This is too complex to be sustained in the coming years. Simplification of the complexity, we can say. So this simplification is going to result, as Dr. Catton says, there will be no developed country in the coming year. All will be almost the same, developing, or we can say underdeveloped nations, once our fossil fuel base depletes. One simple example of complexity in the United States, I got this from some other book. At that time, I calculated. So let's say there are around about 4 lanes here, 8 lanes. Each one lane is like a road. There are 26 million lane kilometers in the United States. Even if you go at 1,000 kilometers per day, it takes 71 years. You know, you want to go 1,000 kilometers per day because most of these roads are on the towns, and you may go around 40 and 50. That means essentially you double this. That means even if you drive in your car all the roads in the United States, it may take a conservative 70 years. In realistically 150, even 200 years just to cover them. We are not talking about the tarred, the malls, all those areas that can also be considered as a type of road. So that is the broad sense we are talking about Joseph Tainter's complexity law. And in the next presentation, we look at the complexity, the law or saying of Dr. Al Bartlett law of compounding or law of exponential growth. Thank you very much, Mitronam, joining me today. And if you like the presentations, you can post your comments or suggestions, or even you can subscribe the channel and bring it to the notice of your friends, this information. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy, South Asia Maps Education Channel.